There's no room for a person who's going to give ground. I'm not doing anything different than I've been doing, 16, 15 years I've been playing.
It's gravitating because he got the best stories.
KG was one of them. He was wild.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
Most players enter the arena to play a game. Kevin Garnett entered the arena to go to war. He didn't just want to beat you. He wanted to take your soul. He was the big ticket, a 6'11" anomaly who moved like a guard and protected the rim like a gargoyle. But if you want to understand the fire that fueled KG for 21 seasons, you have to look beyond the box score. You have to look at the headphones. Before every game, Garnett was locked in with one artist, the late DMX. He didn't just like his music, he lived it. He once said he tied his play style and the energy he brought to the court to the raw, visceral energy of a DMX concert. The barking, the intensity, the feeling that at any moment things could boil over into chaos. That was Garnett's sanctuary. He was the first player in 20 years to leap from high school to the pros, a 15-time All-Star, an MVP, and a Defensive Player of the Year. He's one of only 5 players in history to hold both those trophies. This isn't just a career retrospective. This is the story of the most intense competitor to ever lace them up. This is the life and times of Kevin Maurice Garnett. Kevin Garnett was born on May 19, 1976 in Greenville, South Carolina. Growing up in a broken home with his mother, Shirley, and a stepfather, KG didn't start playing organized ball until high school. At Malden High, he was a local legend in the making. But in the summer before his senior year, everything changed. Garnett was caught in the vicinity of a racially charged fight between black and white students. Though he wasn't a participant, he was one of 3 students arrested for second-degree lynching. The charges were eventually expunged, but the damage was done. Fearful of being a target in a divided town, Garnett fled. He landed at Farragut Career Academy on Chicago's west side. In Chicago, the legend exploded. Living with his sister, Garnett led Farragut to a 28-2 record. He was a human stat sheet stuffer. 25.2 points, 17.9 boards, 6.7 assists, and 6.5 blocks per game. He was named USA Today's National High School Player of the Year in 1995. Despite his dominance, though, academia was a hurdle. KG struggled with the ACTs, missing the NCAA requirements. He could have been a Michigan Wolverine or a Maryland Terrapin, but destiny had other plans. At the Lakeshore Athletic Club, he worked out for NBA scouts. He was touching the top of the backboard. Kevin McHale, watching from the sidelines, saw the future of the league.
With a drive. Oh, baby! The big ticket crossed over and left Chris Webber standing in his wake.
As you all know, on May 10th, I declared myself eligible for the NBA draft.
On draft night in '95, at just 19 years and 11 months old, Kevin Garnett became the first player in 2 decades to go directly from high school to the NBA.
The 5th pick in the 1995 NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Kevin Garnett from Farragut Academy in Chicago.
The Minnesota Timberwolves were a franchise in the basement. Since 1989, they hadn't won more than 29 games in a season. KG arrived as a skinny kid with a giant motor. Initially a bench player, Coach Flip Saunders eventually turned him loose. By his second year, paired with Stephon Marbury, the Wolves made their first ever playoff appearance. But the real headlines came off the court. In 1997, KG signed a 6-year, $126 million contract extension. It was an astronomical sum that sent shockwaves through the league, eventually becoming a primary catalyst for the 98-1999 lockout. Success was often met with tragedy, though. On May 20th, 2000, KG's best friend and teammate, Malik Sealy, was killed by a drunk driver. The loss devastated Garnett. He began wearing Malik Sealy sweatbands and later chose jersey number 2 in Brooklyn to honor him. Despite the personal grief and a string of 7 consecutive first-round exits, Garnett's individual brilliance was undeniable. He was becoming the ultimate Swiss Army knife. Look at the numbers. He wasn't just a big man, He was a point forward. In the 2003-2004 season, the Timberwolves finally gave him a real squad alongside Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell. KG responded with 24.2 points, 13.9 boards, and 5 assists. He led the league in rebounds and walked away with the MVP trophy. Minnesota reached the Western Conference Finals, falling only to the Lakers after Cassell went down with an injury. It was the peak of the Minnesota era, but the frustration was boiling over. At this point in his career, KG was the most intense player in the world. He treated every possession like a life or death struggle. "I tie my energy to X," he once explained. "When you go to a DMX concert, it's not just music, it's a release, it's raw, it's get at me, dog. That's how I play. I want the opponent to feel my presence before I even touch the ball," close quote. He would bark at players. He would trash talk about family members. He would do knuckle push-ups on the hardwood. It was a psychological assault inspired by the grit of Yonkers rap. By 2007, Minnesota was stagnant. On July 31st, the biggest trade for a single player in NBA history went down. 7 players for 1. Kevin Garnett was going to Boston. He joined Paul Pierce and Ray Allen to form the Big Three. KG changed his number to 5 because his number 21 had already been retired by the Celtics. He didn't just bring talent, he brought a defensive identity that hadn't been seen in Boston since the days of Bill Russell. In his first year, he won Defensive Player of the Year. He was the anchor, he was the soul, and in 2008, he finally got what he moved for. June 17th, 2008. The Celtics crushed the Lakers in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. KG puts up 26 and 14. As the confetti falls, a tearful, adrenaline-soaked Garnett screams 3 words that define his legacy. The reign was short-lived. In 2009, a devastating right knee injury late in the season forced him to miss the playoffs. Many believe that if KG had stayed healthy, the Celtics would have gone back-to-back. He returned, leading them to another finals in 2010, pushing the Lakers to 7 games. Even as his athleticism waned, his defensive IQ remained elite. He was the godfather of the locker room, demanding perfection. Fast forward to 2013, the Celtics decided to move on, trading KG and Paul Pierce to the Brooklyn Nets in a deal that would haunt the Nets for a decade. KG was now the elder statesman. He reached 25,000 points, 14,000 boards, and 5,000 assists, joining only Kareem and Karl Malone in that elite club. But the knees were giving out. The DMX energy was still there, but the body couldn't always follow the mind's command. In 2015, the story came full circle. KG waived his no-trade clause to go back home to Minnesota. He wanted to mentor a young Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. He became the 5th player in history to play 50,000 minutes. He passed Karl Malone for the most defensive rebounds in NBA history. In September of 2016, after 21 seasons, the barking stopped. Kevin Garnett announced his retirement.
I love y'all, man.
Post-retirement, KG has slowed down. He made a splash in Hollywood with Uncut Gems, playing a fictionalized version of himself that captured his legendary intensity. In 2020, he was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Kevin Garnett wasn't just a ball player. He was a force of nature. He was a kid from South Carolina who conquered Chicago, saved Minnesota, and revitalized Boston. He played with the heart of a lion and the soul of a poet, fueled by the grit of DMX and a refusal to never, ever back down.